persistent unemployment, untreated mental illness, addiction, and homelessness. Your tax-deductible donation, no matter the size, can help break down the barriers to employment and pave the way for brighter futures. Let's stand together as a community and show our support. Visit betterfuturesminnesota.com and click the Give to the Max button at the top of the page to contribute to this vital cause. Your dollars will directly impact someone's journey to employment. Your support can change lives. Please act today. Visit betterfuturesminnesota.com and make your tax-deductible contribution. Thank you, Minnesota, for your generosity.
Hello, this is Ellie Krug with Ellie 2.0 Radio. Now my show will be on Saturdays from 10 to 11 and replayed on Sundays from 1 to 2. You will get to the best of Ellie 2.0 with talking about idealism, with guests who come in and who are idealistic, who are trying to change the world, and you will get me, Super Idealist. Tune in. We can't wait to hear from you, and you'll hear from me Saturdays from 10 to 11.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Cloudy tonight with a low of 29, then Friday sunshine with a high of 44. Hell is empty and all the devils are here again offers a much-needed communal laugh and is in the spirit of radical inclusion. Performances are at the Luminary Arts Center in Minneapolis now until November 18th. Get your tickets at interactcenterarts.org.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. It's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken.
And this is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakken, and thank you very much for joining us on this fantastic Thursday evening. A little bit blustery, wouldn't you say, Adam?
Yeah, it only went from 64 at like 4 o'clock this afternoon to 39 at my house by 5:30.
Wow.
Just a tad bit blustery.
Tad bit blustery. That's, yeah, very much so. Now, I saw that you grilled yesterday, right?
Yes, it was dark, but it was like almost 60. So I had to pull it out one more time at least to get one more grill in.
Keep it clean over there. So the I don't know if you saw the steak I did on Saturday. It was a great grill that I did. If I don't mind saying so myself, but that was in the dark. That was completely in the dark. I did not see what that looked like until I brought it into the house.
All right. So about a year or so ago, before Halloween, one of the cell phone companies gives things away on Tuesdays. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the cell phone company I'm with. They don't sponsor us, so I'm not going to say their name. But they gave away headlamps for trick-or-treaters last year. So I've been using the headlamp, not to go trick-or-treating, but when I go out and grill and it's dark, or when I got to take the dog out at night, I'll have a little headlamp. So that's how I could see that my stuff was done last night.
And of course I'm out there like with like timers and stuff with my phone and everything, which, funny enough, has a flashlight in it.
Yeah.
Why would I think of using it though?
Well, see, my phone is just used for Spotify because I time everything out by whatever album I'm listening to.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. It's the hot dogs are done when White Snake is finished, right? Is that?
Wow, really? White Snake? I was listening to REM last night. Thank you very much.
Oh, good. That sounds great. So I'm really excited today. This is going to be, this is actually a conversation that Adam, you and I were talking about that I've been looking forward to for a while now. And this is, there's a lot of areas we can go with this. I reached out to author Les Velez a little while ago because I wanted to talk with him about his book, The Unknown Other and the Existential Proposition of Alien Contact. But what running deeper into this, and I know a lot of people know who Les is. I just kind of came late to the party on it, but Les is also the co-founder and chairman of Opus, which is the organization for paranormal understanding and support. There is a lot of stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight. Hopefully we can talk more about in the future, because I think what's really exciting talking with Les and our community of doing the show and the people who come in and listen, we're all on the same page of understanding, the same page of turning this into a safe place for people to be able to tell their story. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, as well as the book. Les, welcome to Ghostbox Radio.
Hey, thank you very much, Greg and Adam. I really appreciate being here tonight. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, well, that's the great part about it. Is the idea of that what we talk about on this program is, the stuff that we're going to be talking about tonight with you, the stuff that we talked yesterday with Reverend Brianna Lee about interfaith exorcism. I mean, people can come on to the show with these incredible moments of their life and experiences and feel like they can talk and know that they're going to be safe to do so. There is no topics that are off limits on this. And, talking about aliens, and you and I talked before the program started, that more and more people that are not like really tied into this as we are, that they are really opening up and it's starting to believe that the stuff that we've been believing for years is actually happening.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing. This year has been quite dramatic with regard to revelations about the fact that we're not alone. I mean, we've had congressional hearings going on with Grush and Graves and the Navy pilots and the videos that have been released. And, it's a confirmation of the fact that, all along, we've been right, that these things are real, that it's happening. And then you throw in the people that are having contact with non-human intelligences. And this brings in a whole nother level of connection that will be eventually coming forward. We're talking the nuts and bolts type stuff, so to speak. But the next phase is these connections that people are having with these entities, whether they're extraterrestrial in nature, whether they're time travelers, whether they're interdimensionals, whether it's our military, which all of the above could possibly, be the case, or a combination thereof.
Absolutely.
So, it's an amazing thing, and for me, it started when I was 11 years old, and I saw this object, and it scared the hell out of me, and ran in the house and tried to get my father to come out and see it, and by the time he did. This was a late October evening when this happened, and it was gone. The object was gone. And he said, "Oh, it's probably just a beacon of light reflecting off a cloud." But I didn't buy that, and I went to the library shortly thereafter and started reading books on UFOs. And back in those days, George Adamski was the big author, and so he had some incredible books about his connections with the Venusians, and so I mean, it just went on from there for a while, and then it kind of left me. It's like I didn't think about it very much. I guess it, as I became an adolescent, girls became a little bit more interesting, and went off to college. Eventually got married after I got out of college. Went in the service, spent 6 years in the service, and moved out to California in 1985 from Connecticut, where I was raised and eventually lived for a while, and picked up the newspaper, and Stanton Freeman, a nuclear physicist, was going to come to San Jose City College to talk about UFOs and a government cover-up. Well, it was like somebody threw a switch. I said, "Oh my God, I got to see this guy."
Like, you're back now. You're back into it now.
Yeah, now I'm back into it. And I went there, and it was an amazing lecture. And on my way out, there was a table there in the foyer, manned by a person from MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network. And so they have a monthly journal. And so I decided I'm going to get this journal, which talks about various cases that they've been investigating. And after a while, that wasn't enough for me. So I decided I'm going to take their field investigator training course. And I passed it, and I started to do investigations. And that's when things got really interesting. I remember the very first case was not only a sighting, but the person said that they had contact with non-human intelligences. And I'm going, and I was rather skeptical. I was more of a nuts and bolts kind of a guy back in those days. But then I investigated another case, and almost without exception, all the cases were not only sightings, but people were saying that they had contact. And so I said, okay, there's something to this. And then one of the persons one day said to me, do you know of other people having these kind of experiences? And I said, yes, I do. And the next thing I'm facilitating a support group in my office. And that's when the stories just, and these people started to open up about what had happened to them. And, it was just an amazing thing that I was privy to. And I learned more by just being there and listening to what they had to say. And these stories were just incredible, absolutely incredible.
I bet. And, Stanton Friedman, I mean, the UFO community really lost somebody there, didn't they? Yeah. About 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that he had passed?
It wasn't even that. I think it was a couple of years ago.
A couple of years ago. I only met him one time. And funny enough, Les, you'll maybe appreciate this. I asked him to be on my radio show, and he wasn't so sure. And you know why that is, Les?
Why?
It was on too late. He was already by then.
Yeah. It's his bedtime too. See?
It's his bedtime too. Like that, you can't do a paranormal show in the afternoon. Like
no, you can't.
We were originally on at Sundays at 4. That was spooky, wasn't it? So let's do this. I want to start here. A couple things we're going to talk about today. I want to talk about Opus, but I want to start by talking about your book, The Unknown Other and the Existential Proposition of Alien Contact. That is quite the title. What is, I mean, the book itself, because you were kind enough to send me something to read, and it's just, there is a lot in there. Can you explain to everybody what the book is, please?
Yeah. What I wanted to do was I wanted to present to the general public an overview of the contact, these experiencers that have had these incredible things happen to them. And I went through the physical aspects of this contact, the psychological aspects of contact. And then I threw in some of the latest stuff as far as the report from the federal government, from the ODNI, and some of the conversations that the pilots had when they had their sightings of the Tic Tacs. And then I also put in there a report, the Omega-3 report that actually was funded by MUFON, that I was the head of the investigation. And I worked with two psychologists we took 71 people that were claimed that they had contact with non-human intelligences, and 51 people that were a control group. And we basically had them take like 9 different psychological tests. And we came up with the fact that none of these people had a psychopathology. They were not crazy, and from either group. They were not fantasy prone, which a lot of debunkers talk about, along with things like false memory syndrome or sleep paralysis. I love it when the debunkers talk about, well, it's all sleep paralysis. Well, 2/3 of all cases, whether in the bedroom or not, did not involve sleep paralysis.
Right.
And then as far as false memory syndrome, the American Psychological Association or any other mainstream psychological diagnostic system has either ratified or proven such a diagnostic. So, that, and I talk about that in the book as well. And there's a lot of examples of the effects of microwave energy and X-rays and gamma rays that evidently, if you get too close to some of these things, this is what can happen to you. So I talk about that. So it's a general overview, but as far as, what this means, I get involved with the fact that this is happening, that most of the people that are experiencing these things do come through it.
Mm-hmm.
They also come away with a worldview that's very, very different. It's changed. They come away with the fact that we need to be better stewards of the planet. We need to be more loving. We need to care for one another more. And these are all very positive type aspects to this. So unless these entities are blowing smoke up our tailpipe, it seems like the majority of these people are coming away with a positive worldview change that can only bode well for us. So I'm not worried that tomorrow they're going to come and take over the planet, because they could have done that centuries ago.
I was just going to say that.
Before we had nukes,
Right. No, exactly. And that's always the amazing thing about it. In a second here, I want to take a break, but how long did it take you to put this book together? Because there's a lot to it.
Well, that's a good question. And I've been gathering information for quite a while, but when COVID hit, that's when I started to write the book. It basically, and it gave me a great, I couldn't go anywhere. It was housebound. And so I said, okay, I've been talking about this for years, so now I'm going to do it. So I finally did it.
That's really interesting. Isn't it amazing how COVID really had kind of sparked a lot of us to do different things, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
This is what I'd like to do. We're going to talk more about the book. Folks, if you have a question for Les, please put it in the comments. I see one already. Brad, we'll get to your comment and question when we get back. A lot to talk about here. We're going to talk about the book. We're going to talk about Opus. Very excited with our guest tonight, Les. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Hello, I'm Jody, also known as Witch Jody on social media. I opened Midwest Witchery and Healing in historic Stillwater because as a nurse, I love to help others. When you come and visit Midwest Witchery and Healing, you will find everything from divination and magical services, classes to ritual tools, jewelries, handcrafted candles, witchy gear, and much more. My store is a safe environment for all on their own unique path. Look for the purple door. Find out more at MidwestWitcheryHealing.com.
Reach your highest level of consciousness and well-being with MetamorphosisConnections.com. MetamorphosisConnections.com is an online directory of the best holistic and metaphysical practitioners to help you make your most informed choices. You can search MetamorphosisConnections.com for classes, events, wellness and life coaches, plus metaphysical products and shops. You can also search for a wide array of healers from all modalities, including EFT, sound healing, energy healing, light therapy, ancestral healing, shamanic healing, reflexology, past life regressions, hypnotherapy, yoga, and more. And if you're not sure where to start, the search feature on MetamorphosisConnections.com is tailored to help both those who know what they are looking for and those who are just starting. Come explore the possibilities for your higher self by visiting MetamorphosisConnections.com. Their experienced practitioners can guide both beginners and those that are already on their spiritual journey. That's MetamorphosisConnection.com, your link to direct you on your spiritual transformation.
In the heart of the Northeast, there lies a hidden beast, a dragon's lair at the crossroad, guarded by the maiden Mother Crone. A treasure trove of spells galore, discover incense, books, jewelry, and more. Just as the oracles foretold, this is where your mystery unfolds. As the shadows creep and the veil gets thin, do not fear what lies within. Magus Books is where your journey begins. Visit us at 1848 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis or online at magusbooks.com.
If you go to shoprainbowrd.com, you will find an amazing variety of adult novelties, literally thousands of items that you can peruse in the privacy of your home and have shipped to your door. Plus, in the store, you can find swimwear, casual wear, underwear, everywhere. Rainbow Road is located at 109 West Grand Street near Loring Park. Gift cards are available for the hard to shop for. Go to shoprainbowrd.com.
And don't forget, if you would like to listen to past episodes of Ghostbox Radio, please go to ghostboxradio.com. Not only do we have the radio episodes on there, but we also have what we call the Ghostbox Book Club, where you can go and books like this, all the books that are available on Amazon. We have an affiliate link if you wouldn't mind buying all through us. We get a little bit of money back, but all the authors that we've had on the program are featured there. And boy, you look at it, it's like, what a selection. We've had some really great authors on, Adam, that I go back and I look, and it's like, I've read now a lot of those books, and it's so interesting, so fascinating.
It is a great place and a resource to grab all the past authors we've had. That we've picked up a couple of them at home. There is one that we've had about Close Encounters that does make me have to sleep with the lights on. It's taken me a while to get through it, because it's like every other chapter scares the bejesus out of me.
Well, which is that the Night Visitant?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
it's a very good book.
It is a very good book. Anna Maria Manalo does some great work. We're going to have her on again. We have on with us tonight Les Velez. He is the author of the book The Unknown Other and the Existential Proposition of Alien Contact, a book that really is worth checking out. And he is also the co-founder and chairman of OPUS, the Organization for Paranormal Understanding and Support. Before we get back into it, Les, Brad had a question. I've never really thought about this. It's interesting. Do you think the War of the Worlds radio broadcast in 1938 was a test to see how people would react to aliens, and that's why the government has covered up so much? I'm just going to say, Les, if that was truly the test, we failed that one miserably.
Well, yeah, I my own personal feeling on that is that it probably was not a test. I don't think the government was probably blindsided by it, and it was well done. It was well done, and so kudos to
Orson Welles.
Orson Welles for pulling that one off. But it also shows that people can be taken in by this, and you talk about false flag operations that is being talked about more recently. That might be a possibility that this would be going on in order to foment some other type of reaction that will cause our government to act in a certain way, which none of us would probably like.
No.
So,
do you think, and the idea of false flags really depresses me, because it's applied to a lot of things that if that was true, that some of these things were false flags, that would really really erodes at me. But so putting that to the side, do you think there's been any sort of alien related false flag operations, or something that either is, I don't want to say cover up, because we can name those till the cows come home, but anything that might be like a false flag that is like maybe some sort of alien interference or activity or anything?
Yeah, I can't point to any one particular thing. I mean, the case down in Arizona in '97.
Oh yeah.
That they were talking that was a hologram or something that was created to see what kind of reaction would be elicited from. But I've heard stories from pilots, commercial pilots, that were, this one particular pilot was coming into Prescott, Arizona to land, and he looked down and he couldn't see anything. All he saw was this blackness, and he was above this object. So it was real. It was very real. And so, but there's been stories about that. And certainly the our government, and without naming all the three-letter organizations,
Yeah.
has, basically, they had marching orders to make things difficult for us to get to the truth, and or get us going in a different direction, if you will, with regard to any of these types of things. Whether it's swamp gas,
Yeah.
whether it's Venus, or the moon or something, just all kinds of crazy explanations, that just to quell the interest of the populace.
Now, when you referenced Arizona, that was the one that the governor came out to talk, and then they had
Mhm.
that alien dressed up, right?
Right. That's
And
it.
and is as Brad Webb says, is that the Phoenix Lights?
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Phoenix Lights.
and what I only found out just recently, I had no idea about, was the fact that that very same governor had turned his tune on
Mhm.
that, and that he actually did believe that happened,
Yes.
that
Yes.
was aliens.
Right. Yeah, he definitely changed his tune, as you say. There's no question about it, and he's been involved with a number of documentaries now that
Yeah.
where they've interviewed him, and he said, yeah, that was something that he regrets that he did, and that's what's happening. You're getting a lot of people like that are coming forward, that are saying, yeah, or they've either had their own experience, or they certainly know that the experience is real.
Yeah, absolutely. So the book is called The Unknown Other and the Existential Proposition of Alien Contact. And within the book, there is a number of, like, I'm looking at chapter 5, The Experiencers of Opus. Is there any, I mean, I'm sure all of these are very powerful. Is there anything that really, like a story
Yeah.
that really stands out to you of like,
Mhm.
this is,
There's two of them that
Yeah.
I write in that particular chapter. One was a couple from the Santa Cruz area of California,
Mhm.
and they were picnicking in a state park just north of Santa Cruz, and it was getting to be dusk, and so they started to come out of the park. Well, this park is in a rather hilly area, and it overlooks the Pacific Ocean, and they noticed this light over the ocean, and it caught their attention, and it started to get bigger and bigger until literally this thing was over their head. Well, it wasn't just a light; it was a triangular craft,
Mhm.
and it was totally silent. There was no sound coming out of this thing at all, and it slowly drifted into a canyon behind them. And they noticed another light over the ocean, and this thing got bigger and bigger again until it was over their head. And this time, the first one they felt they were looking at it. The second time they felt it was looking at them. And
Hmm.
so they became frightened, and they backed up underneath a big old pine tree. And this was one of the cases that I investigated as an investigator for MUFON.
Sure.
And so, I went up there and checked out this area, and they noticed some more lights, and there was like 5 more lights out there. And at that point, they decided to get out of there because they were afraid this was going to be coming at them. And they started to go down this trail. Well, this trail is difficult even in daylight,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden they felt like they were on automatic control, almost robotic in nature. That they kind of felt like they drifted down out of the park down to where their car was. And like I say, this trail, even in the daylight, is dark because it's highly wooded. It's a lot of stones and things like that you had to get around. But they just managed to go down through there very smoothly, and they got to their car, and that's the last thing they remember until 3 hours later, that they found themselves in a restaurant about 10 minutes north of where they were in the park. And they
Wow.
have no idea how that happened. They have no recollection whatsoever. They have chosen not to, and this was like over 30 years ago that this happened. They chose not to go through hypnotherapy. However, I got a call from them about 2 months ago. They tracked me down. Matter of fact, I live in Texas now, so I retired, and so I moved here in 2017, and they started remembering more things. And one of the things that's really interesting, and I have to tie this in to a support group meeting, because they actually came to a support group meeting, and they had a picture. They had developed a rash after this experience, and they went to a doctor. I think they went to his doctor first. And the doctor says, well, I'm not sure what it is. It's not, this place is loaded with poison oak, poison ivy, but it wasn't either one of those. And he couldn't really identify it. So then they eventually went to her doctor, and he says, well, maybe it's a reaction to something external, or, something else going on. But again, I don't recognize it. So they came to this meeting, and they showed this picture of this rash. And almost without exception, the people in the group, almost all of them had the same kind of rash at one point.
Oh, boy.
Then this is where it really got interesting. One of the people in the group at that time says, I think I know what it's from. And so we're sitting there with our mouths open and say, what? So what do you feel it is? It's a reaction to the fluid that they dip you in when they bring you on board the craft to sanitize you. Now, so
Goodness.
This call, now getting back to the call I just got from them, the woman in the couple, they used to be married back then. Now they're separated. And she has vivid memory of being dipped in a fluid. She has it just came finally bubbled up in her conscience. So, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible.
It is incredible.
So then there's another story, which again is in the book, of a couple. They were dating each other, and he was a park ranger at Sunset Beach, which is south of Santa Cruz. And they were coming back from having dinner or something, and it was like getting to be dusk. And they go by this field, because there's a lot of agricultural fields around this part of the world. And they notice this huge ball, orange ball, reflecting this reddish orange light on the field. And it was like the minute they saw that, they went into this kind of robotic move where they looked at it, and then they turned their head again, and then they had slowed down to see this thing, and then it's just like they went back to where he was staying. And the problem with that, it was getting to be dusk, so it was around 5 something. They didn't get to where he lived for till 9 o'clock.
Wow.
So they had this missing time. So anyway, they got in his house, and it was a trailer actually. They prepared to go to bed, and they were scratching their head, like they couldn't figure out what had happened. Well, that night, these grays literally came through the wall, picked him up, took him through the wall. Okay. She's observing this. They had a German Shepherd dog that was knocked out. It was totally knocked out. He was eventually brought back. He totally freaked out. It broke up their relationship. He basically disappeared. He freaked out so much, he just took off. And these are the kind of reactions that happen in some cases with people, and not all experiences are positive.
No.
They can be very negative. And And, people say, well, there's two camps. You got one camp that says all the aliens are good, and then the other one says they're all bad, and so I think we have a mixture, just like we have here on Earth. We got good people and we got bad people.
Yeah.
and the same thing is going on up there or wherever you can think of it's happening.
They're probably all coming from different places, right? I mean, and they have different different agendas and stuff. What you said about the Greys coming through the walls and stuff. For people who've listened long enough to this program, and a lot of you are going to know exactly where I'm going to go to here. I firmly believe, and I firmly feel like I've experienced it myself, of Greys who are able to basically camouflage themselves. That they can, and I don't think we're saying dissimilar things here, of that they can, if you call them in, they will show up, and you may not see them, but that they will, that they might be there for all you know.
Yeah, there's certainly instances of invisibility or shape shifting, or giving a screen memory that it's a big owl, instead of a small gray or something like that.
Yeah.
So they have incredible capabilities to mess with our minds, and which, whatever reason, it just reminded me of the fact that one of the support group meetings, one of the people in the group said, "I've seen you before." I said, "Oh, where? At a UFO conference?" And they said, "No, I saw you on board the craft." I said, "Really? Oh, that's interesting." I kind of blew it off. And then it was like a year and a half later that a totally different person in the group said the same thing. "I've seen you before." And I said, "Where? UFO conference?" "No, you were sitting on this bench naked on board the craft and you were freaking out. And they told me to go over to you to calm you down." So at that point, I said, "Okay, I'm going to go get regressed." And so I had 3 separate regressions, and I had multiple past lives.
Sure.
And I did not come up with anything related to being on board a craft or having any kind of contact like that. However, it was another conversation I had shortly thereafter that someone said, well, perhaps this person might have seen something related to one of your past lives where it actually did happen in that past life. And, this is the thing that happens. You have time slips, you have time movements that are just crazy. I mean, they can bring you back before they take you, or vice versa.
Absolutely.
It's just they can manipulate time and space, and that's the thing that is a reality that we haven't figured out yet.
And I find, and we ran into this week, and I need to take a break here, so I'm just going to get my thought out, and then we're going to take a break. Is that I ran into this week with people who don't want to be open-minded to understand that that just because we don't understand it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Exactly. And I think that's one of our greatest faults as a human race, to be able to be like, well, there's no scientific reason why there is other species out there, but there's a ton of reasons why there is, and it doesn't, just because they visit us and they're nowhere near our solar system, and maybe they are, doesn't mean that there's not different reasons and not different ways for them to visit us. So
exactly.
All right. Why don't we do this? Let's go ahead and take our next break, because I want to make sure that we keep our conversation going with less. People keep putting questions into the chat. We are going to get to those when we get back. What a great conversation. You're listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
If you own a holistic or metaphysical business and are looking to expand, then you need to be listed on metamorphosisconnections.com. It's a network where you can grow with like-minded practitioners and reach new clients. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory you need to list yourself and your business. Our platform makes it easy for you to create listings of your products and services, and you can also choose to list your classes, events, and so much more. Metamorphosisconnections.com helps you create weekly and monthly promotional ads targeted towards your potential clients and promotes them for you via social media and newsletter. There are clients searching for your specialty right now. Let us help them find you. Start your listing today so you can share your own unique gifts and talents by finding the level of membership that best fits your needs. Let us help you reach your clients that are searching for what you do. Visit metamorphosisconnections.com and sign up today.
Hello, I'm Jody, also known as Witch Jody on social media. I opened Midwest Witchery and Healing in historic Stillwater because as a nurse, I love to help others. When you come and visit Midwest Witchery and Healing, you will find everything from divination and magical services, classes to ritual tools, jewelries, handcrafted candles, witchy gear, and much more. My store is a safe environment for all on their own unique path. Look for the purple door. Find out more at MidwestWitcheryHealing.com.
Lewis Black, Goodbye Yeller Brick Road, the final tour.
Look, to allow QAnon to run amok, they're nuts, okay? And I don't give a if your cousin's in QAnon and you don't think he's nuts. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I know cray when I see it.
Lewis Black, live on stage in the Mystic Showroom, Friday, April 26th. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at the Mystic box office or online at mysticlake.com. For more, visit lewisblack.com.
With a look at your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Cloudy tonight with a low of 29, then Friday sunshine with a high of 44. Vinaigrette can add the perfect complement to your next home-cooked meal. Taste test their wide selection of oils and vinegars, and they'll bottle it for you right on the spot. Vinaigrette is located at 50th and Xerxes in South Minneapolis. Check them out at vinaigrettemn.com.
And join me next week on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken. Now, Friday, we're not going to have a show. We're going to do a rerun of a Casual Friday episode. Really what's going on is that I have an investigation tomorrow over the weekend, so I won't be able to do a show. Next week is a short week, but boy, what a week it's going to be. Monday, we're going to be doing some true crime. On Wednesday, we're going to be talking with Brian Dunning about the 60th anniversary of the JFK assassination. We're going to be talking some conspiracy theory stuff and some other stuff that's attached to that as well. Thursday is the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, which is one of my favorite programs. That is Thanksgiving Day, but we're still going to do a program about it to celebrate that. But Tuesday, this is going to be very interesting, folks. We're going to have a very special episode where we have Todd Gatewood on. He's the researcher, archivist of the 1967 Patterson film. He's been doing a lot of work on it, talking about a lot of clarity, talking about stuff we haven't seen before. We're going to talk about that. We're one of the first to really get to that, and we're very excited for that. So mark your calendars for Tuesday, November 21st, as this is going to be a very interesting episode, and I cannot wait. We are, though, having a fantastic conversation with Les Velez. We are talking about his book, The Unknown Other and the Existential Proposition of Alien Contact. And Les is also the co-founder and chairman of Opus, the Organization for Paranormal Understanding and Support. Adam, based on the stories you've been hearing tonight, is it going to be a lights on sort of night for you when you sleep, or?
Actually, it's going to be a hard night to sleep because what Les has been talking about today, what we've had other folks on talking about their encounters with aliens.
Yeah.
These people have never met each other, from our alien special that we did a couple months ago to tonight's interview to some of the authors we've had on. There's always these same points that everybody seems to mention.
Yeah.
And yet none of these folks know each other. But this is why I always find these alien shows so intriguing, because of that, the rashes, the time slips. For folks that have never spoken to each other, why are we getting close to the same story almost all the time, especially when it comes to the Greys?
Absolutely. Les, can I show you a picture here real fast?
Sure.
Have you seen this before?
Oh, going through a portal.
Right?
Yep.
So I've seen this. And for people who listen to the program, they know, I mean, I don't mean to be bringing out the same stuff over and over again, but what this is validation as well. I was over at my friend John's house in Wisconsin, where out in the country where the sky is super clear, and we were just looking up in the sky, and we saw this happening. And his wife is like, "Well, that's just Starlink. That looks nothing like Starlink. We know Starlink is like
not at all,
not even close."
Yeah.
We stopped counting at 70 ships coming out.
Wow, that's amazing.
I mean, and who knows how many before we started counting? You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
Do you think we're just becoming more perceptive, or do you think any sort of alien activity is trying less to veil itself to us?
I think it's a combination of things. I think it's we're getting desensitized by all these shows, like shows like yours, as a matter of fact, that people are hearing these types of things. And then we have that little thing in our pockets called a cell phone that has capabilities that are quite remarkable, to be able to take pictures. And these things get shared on social media. And so I think these things have always been going on, except now there's much more of a conscious realization that these things are happening. And so consequently, we're just seeing a whole lot of this going on. You know, the Roper organization back in '92, that was, I guess, Bigelow was involved with funding that operation, where they felt that there was 6 million people in the United States alone that have had experiences. And you fast forward with that information, and how many more people, and this is a worldwide phenomena. And my latest theory, okay, and probably a lot of people think I'm crazy by saying this, but I believe every one of us has had an experience, whether we consciously remember it or not. And because they have a capability to basically bury this realization quite far in our brains and our psyche. And but yeah, that's my latest theory on this, and it's just part of another reality that we don't understand. You know, the aliens talk about reincarnation, that this is a part of how the universe operates. So it's absolutely fascinating, you know, when you start hearing all these things. And you know, one of the things that people talk about, especially debunkers, well, where's the evidence? Well, did you ever hear about implants?
Right.
These are objects like, you know, the late Dr. Roger Lear did a fantastic job of investigating 17 patients where they took these things out. And some of these are actually transmitting deep space frequencies in the FM band. They are made up of materials that are not earthly in nature. So who's doing it? Is it the aliens, if you want to use that term, or is it our government? I mean, it's a whole bunch of stuff. One thing before we close, I want to get this out there, because this is important for me and in the organization that I'm part of. Opus, the Organization for Paranormal Understanding and Support. Basically, our mission, simply put, is to help people having these experiences. And how we do this is that we have a totally confidential online international support group. We have almost 400 people from around the world, literally around the world, that are talking 24/7 about their experiences. So that has proven to be a major factor in helping these people, that they know that they're not alone, because in many cases they can't talk to anybody.
Right.
You know, and a lot of them have gone to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, and they find out that they don't have a psychopathology. So then what? So what do they do with this thing that's going on with them? The next thing we do, we have a referral network of mental health practitioners and hypnotherapists. And we're always looking for more licensed mental health practitioners and certified hypnotherapists from around the country. So I noticed one of your advertisers, the Metamorphosis Connection, has a listing of people like that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to contact them after this and see if we can, you know, give their people some more business, especially if there's people in the Minnesota area that are looking for help.
That's fantastic.
And then we have a triage group called the EST, the Experiencer Support Team, that are very familiar with these topics, which, as it turns out, we're open to all types of paranormal. We can talk about poltergeist activity. We can talk about Kundalini awakening, spiritual awakening. But our main focus over the years, just because of the people that come to us, are talking about their contact with non-human intelligences. So anyway, that's it in a nutshell. And we got founded in 1994 by a doctor friend of mine. And there's more to this story, which we can talk about at another time.
I would love to. And folks, I put the website address into the comments. It's also on the screen. Really get a very good understanding, and it's very comprehensive what Opus is, and I think it's essential. And I'm just saying that because I think that organizations like MUFON are great, but I think that this is a different area, I think, and correct me if you think I'm wrong with this, Les, but I mean, I feel like that, MUFON is great. It's good at being able to track and log, and they do have help, but this is really, for people who, I don't have like the exact timing. I know something happened. I know that I've had these experiences. I just need to talk to somebody. I need to be accepted. And I think that's what Opus is about, right?
Exactly. And let me just throw out some more information quickly.
Yeah.
Is that I was the one that actually years ago, I think it was like 2007, that I talked to the international director of MUFON and said, I think you guys are missing a boat.
Mm-hmm.
You've been a nuts and bolts type of an organization, and you have people coming to you that are talking about their experiences, but you have no setup for it. So I suggested that they could send those types of people looking for help to me, and so to our organization, Opus. And so that happened for quite a while, and then finally the light bulb went off, and they decided to put together an organization that Kathleen Martin eventually got started. And they do have a group now within MUFON called the ERT, the Experiencer Resource Team, that is set up to do a similar thing. However, they don't have an online support group. They do have a referral network of hypnotherapists and mostly hypnotherapists is what their list is all about. And in some cases, some of the mental health people. But we're on the same page. As a matter of fact, we actually share resources in that regard. In other words, if we come up with a name, we'll send it to them so they have it, and vice versa. Well, they'll send us the name of somebody that they put on their list, which is important. We have a good relationship with them. But this is a need that is going to get bigger, especially as these congressional hearings go on and on. As a matter of fact, there was another one today that behind a skiff, evidently, where Grush got his top secret clearance renewed. And so they were going to be talking about where the bodies are supposedly, and who's got them, and etc. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out of that one.
Truly, more to come. Yep. In that area, as we have about a minute and a half left. In your experience of doing this for a while now, would you have ever thought that we've got to this point of congressional hearings and that they're kind of sticking with it?
No. This is a huge surprise and a great surprise. I do an interview as well on our site. We have interviews that I've done with people, and one of the people, John Ramirez, ex-CIA guy, told me about the fact that there was going to be some pretty interesting revelations, and supposedly there's more to come by people with stars on their shoulders. That's interesting. So if that comes forward, then it's going to be a whole nother ball game. And there seems to be two factions going on right now. You got the people that want this to come out, and you got people mostly in the Defense Department that don't want it to come out, and I can understand that, from national security issues, that if we have the technology and we have all this stuff going on, we certainly don't want our enemies, the Chinese or the Russians, to understand that. So,
very true, very true. Folks, once again, as we're wrapping up here, first of all, the name of the book is The Unknown Other and the Existential Proposition of Alien Contact. That is available on Amazon. We're going to also put it up on our website, ghostboxradio.com, under Ghostbox Book Club. But also, please check out opusnetwork.org. Once again, that is the Organization for Paranormal Understanding and Support. Les, what you're doing is truly phenomenal. What you and your team and your group and your organization is doing is truly phenomenal. Thank you so very much for all that you're doing.
Well, thank you. And I really appreciate being on your show tonight, Greg. And Adam, thank you as well. And look forward to being back on here.
We would love to have you back on. People in the comments are asking when you're going to be back on, and anyone who has questions on stuff like that. And I'll get you Char's name as well from the Metamorphosis Connection, and you can have a conversation with her as well.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, she is fantastic. She is all about this. You two are going to be able to work very well together.
Super. That's great.
And, this is it for me this week. I'm going to be doing an investigation this weekend. So once again, we're going to be back on Monday with Joe Kistner. And on Tuesday, we're talking about that Patterson-Gimlin film. Adam, thank you very much for everything. And we'll be back next week. Everyone, take care.
Your radio station for the Resistance, the David Pakman Show,